Look at those beautiful smiles. It makes me so happy to be here with two of my favorite ladies and partners in crime, or tag team partners, whatever we want to call it. But Syya and Raquel, how are you both doing today?
Hello.
Fantastic. Hello.
We're doing fantastic.
All right. Well, quickly, Syya, while before we get started, why don't you tell everybody like why you're here quickly to set the stage? Obviously, folks who've been watching us for quite some time know, but like within 30 seconds, give that elevator pitch. Why are you here today's show? What are we doing? Hail, hail, the gang's all here.
Well, I'm here because someone has to run this live stream. So that's Brilliant Bee Media, right? So that's just one component of what we do. But our partnership and collaboration with Hail Hail Auctions is we help augment the value of supporting our nonprofit partners, and more people can get more eyeballs for great organizations. Why wouldn't we? So we are part of the package. So every time you work with Hail Hail Auctions, you will get a piece of me here, and the
Piece
brilliant
of the
being queen,
pie.
which is Raquel.
A
And
piece of the pie.
yeah,
A piece of the pie, as they would call it in
that's
New York,
all
where I just got back
right.
from. But Raquel, quickly too, like, what are you doing here? Obviously the three of us. What's going on with you?
Absolutely. Well, guys, first of all, thank you. It's always a pleasure and honor to be with you and always spending time with you. As you know, you both are dear into my heart. But as Sia pretty much said, this is really boils down to connection. It boils down to how do we show up to impact. And for me, as you guys know, I love connecting with people. I love networking. I love meeting individuals and finding ways to cross pollinate, using Sia's terminology there. But not only that, how do we create something bigger that will benefit everyone involved, and at the same time we're fulfilling our purpose every single day? So this is why I'm here. Want to do bigger things, support as many other organizations as we can, and yeah. So
Yes,
holla.
yes, yes. And
Holla,
use your influence,
holla.
like you said, for as good as possible, as we're already doing and continue to do. So before we get into the heart of the matter, Sia, why don't you kick that awesome intro you created, and we'll get today's show underway.
Let's do it.
Man, I am jamming.
See, we're getting to her, Sia. She's starting to like our brand of music, if you will. She's headbanging in the background. She's getting her devil horns or what have you up. Like, how fun is it to influence that one on some of our interest in music, huh?
You should have seen me at the cure. Like, seriously, I was like, what in the world's wrong with me? Something possessed me, nothing.
Wrong? No,
Whatever,
that was you in
whatever
your element.
possessed you. Whatevs. So okay,
Yes.
so it's full disclosure. It wasn't the cure. It was Le
Look
Cure
here. Yes.
band, and it was funny because
I was like, Robert Smith, what?
No.
I vaguely remember that night. It was my birthday celebration, but so full disclosure, I was vaguely there, but there in the moment at the same time. But the fun fact about Liqueur, shout out Liqueur, guys. The lead singer, someone must have been a Gen Zer or someone just doesn't listen to The Cure, took a picture of him and for a picture about some article they had written about The Cure. So the claim to fame for this cover band was the fact that the lead singer was actually used as Robert Smith's face, which is hilarious. Yeah, yeah. It was
Oh
pretty
Oh
my
funny.
my,
God.
that's the
Yeah,
best. That is the
yeah.
best.
Made
Well,
the guy's day, I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah, so funny. And we talk about influencing one another, and as you said earlier, Raquel, so eloquently, like we are a tight knit unit, the three of us, a family of sorts. Like my big and little
Dysfunctional.
sister, as I call the two of you, is as scary as that sounds for the two of you. But like, we are using our influence for good. We are taking all of our different skill sets and strengths and influences, if you will, towards bettering other organizations. And it's just been so much fun to see how we all work together, but still have remained friends. We're still having a great time laughing with each other and at each other. And it's just been so fun to see Hail Hail Auctions, frankly, build. And I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else, frankly, other than the two of you. So, As we get started, like, talk a little bit about what it's been like learning about the fundraising industry. Obviously, Sia, I kind of roped you in and was like, hey, I think you should do this. This is where your skill set is needed most and where you can make the most impact in the world. And Raquel, as I got to know you, like your aspirations of just lifting up so many great people and places and things. It was just natural to say like, hey, you're going to be a great auctioneer, but like, let's find ways to use your influence for good. So I'll shut up and like, you guys chat a little bit. Like, what has it been like? Why have you decided to do it? What have you learned to do, not to do? Talk a little bit about where we're at as Hail Hail Auctions and Brilliant Beam continue our partnership.
Go ahead, Sia. You can
Rocky,
start.
you go first, girl. Yeah.
Well, thank you. For me, first of all, again, it's been an honor getting to work with you, learn from both of you, because this is not just a one way street. We're all learning from one another. We have different sets of talents, and putting those together really has combined forces for good. And I say that because for me, I would have never, if you would have come to me maybe like 6 months ago and say, hey, Raquel, what do you think about auctioneering? What do you think about amplifying already what's in your heart? What's, what you want to do, which is I want to help as many people as I can. And I would have been like, you're crazy. But once I started seeing the value that that will bring to everyone involved, and I'm like, you know what? I already, I am a chatterbox. I already, am out there mingling with so many different amazing individuals, and I'm already helping people and communities and entities, nonprofits. Why not? So that's why I'm on this journey. I listen to Big Brother here, Chris, and he's like, Raquel, I have an idea. How about, and I'm like, you know what? It makes complete sense. It has definitely given me a perspective on how to view things from a different angle. And hail, hail, man! I'm telling you, it's where it's at. I'm gonna just leave it right there.
Well, it is.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, the feedback we're getting has been tremendous. And it wouldn't be without the help of Sia, right? Like Raquel, your big sister, my big sister. Her influence on me, frankly, is unparalleled just on how to manage a growing business, how to build something that's tangible and beneficial to organizations, whether profit or nonprofit. And just getting to work alongside her and learn a little bit about the production, even though I'm terrible at it. I'll never dip my toe in that pond, so don't worry, Sia. But like, you even got to come to Chicago for a week and run around town and see what it is I'm doing behind the scenes. Like, your investment in me personally, Hail Hail Auctions and Raquel, like, I just can't thank you enough. So like, please, like, what have you learned? Why are you doing this? Like, where are you at with Brilliant Bee Media and fundraising and such?
Yeah, so thank you so much. Look, if you anyone that knows me knows I'm very purpose driven. I'm very much all about uplifting others, and nothing to me speaks more about giving to yourself than to be able to give in a broader, faster, scalable way. So a lot of these nonprofits, a lot of these causes I never even thought about or heard of before. I don't have children, so I don't think about children causes, if that makes sense. But you know what? If we can help make the next generation better, if we can make our current generation more thoughtful, more empathetic, just more considerate of others, what a better society and world we would live in. So this the learning that how the sausage is made behind the scenes of a lot of these nonprofit organizations shows me how much more work needs to be done. And I'm just going to say it, you guys. I see a lot of great folks that are giving to someone in need, and I see that there is a appetite to support others. I mean, you see all these GoFundMe's where someone had something horrific happen and then they make, $250,000 raised and funded. If we could just apply a dollar for other causes as well, how much more that would be spread out, right? So I worry at times that, we are a giving spirit, but unfortunately it's not given in a way where it's can be impactful for a community, right? So I'm not saying don't give to someone that had something horrific. All I'm saying is we need to think about giving more, if that makes sense. If we can, for those that can afford it. And by the way, let's be clear, you can give time, you can give support, you can give literally And we say this as small business owners. Just give us a fracking like on our post when we're trying to advertise our company for once, people. Like, instead of high-fiving and loving and hitting on random ass people on LinkedIn for viral posts, why don't you go ahead and give a like and love for someone that's actually doing something? Oh yeah,
Yes.
I had a Sia
See,
rant moment.
see a
Wait,
rant.
I had a
Hashtag
Sia rant
see a
moment.
rant.
I know. Where's my Sia
If
rant
I had
moment? Yeah.
if I had access to one of those gifs of Homer Simpson, you know, the one where he backs into the hedge and he's
Oh
like,
my.
"Well, that's the end of that." That's how I'm just kidding. See, you're right, you know, and it's been so fun, as you mentioned, you know, supporting great organizations and creating great awareness for purpose-driven people and missions and things in the world that others are not yet aware of, right? And through our influence, through our platforms, through our expertise, we believe that we are now starting to create a new way of thinking and how to get the word out, right? Let's face it, not everybody's Make-A-Wish, not everybody's Ronald McDonald House, not everybody is these big charities that have these enormous budgets and their CEOs and executive directors are making sometimes seven figures, right? We're dealing in many cases with folks like the three of us who have started building an organization from the heart, right?
Mhm.
Organizations that are growing or have grown to a point where they now need us and they see the value in what we're providing, but also the partnership and the passion we're giving back in doing so, right? And so it's just been so fun. And, you know, from there, you know, having events like we just had with Camp Kids or Kids and things like that, like we're meeting such great people. Like, who are some of the people you've been excited to get to know and some of the organizations you've learned about that you may not be otherwise aware of through Hail Hail?
Oh my goodness. Well, I've literally, I cannot name them all, but to add to Sia's point about giving, right? Giving back doesn't necessarily mean monetarily. It could give, it's value. What is your value that you're providing? And for me, one of the biggest things that I always say, it's kindness is the best currency that the universe can have. And so just pay it forward. Give back as much as you can, wherever you can, however, in whatever form you can. And so many folks automatically just get, derailed, right? They're like, oh, I just don't want to talk about that. They're like, man, I get hit up by so many different organizations. And I'm like, but have you stopped to think about how you can actually give back? It's not just monetary, but yes, supporting, as Sia was saying, right? I don't know what you were pointing out at Sia, but TJ's one. No, is that what you were
Yeah,
pointing
TJ's
out?
were sorry. I
Yes,
was discreetly so
We
so
doing a
Gabe
dance.
Leal had
I know.
commented about TJ.
Get down to
So
that. Oh, sorry.
okay, for example, on that giving is again, I'm consulting for this wonderful author, TJ Ian McLean. Shout out TJ's War. They have a show I do not produce. Brilliant Beam is not producing it, but we're consulting for them, and they launched a podcast called "We're Making a $50 million movie." Or TV show. So basically, it's just chronicling their journey to talk about the story of TJ's War, but also all the ecosystem of movie making and what it would take to get a $50 million movie made. So that's it. Sorry for the ADD, guys. Thanks, Gabe, for getting me all out there. But
Yes.
No,
Well,
you're good.
speaking of Gabe and speaking of giving back, Raquel, you know, I said earlier behind the scenes that I had a little surprise for you, and I know
Ooh,
you're so busy studying for your test and
yes.
being a mom. You may not even realize that the Chicago Bears play the Houston Texans this Sunday in Houston. And in the spirit of giving back, I think we need to place a monetary bet and the loser has to make a donation to a charity of our choice. So whoever wins gets to pick the charity.
that's a win-win
10, $20.
situation.
We got to have a little friendly bet on this game coming up. So while we're in the spirit of giving, let's talk.
Oh my. Oh my. Okay. Well, are you perhaps maybe going to the game? Because
I
that would
would
even make it
love to. So
sweeter.
if anybody down in Houston wants to bring me in, I'd love to. I'm just saying, if anybody's got miles, I know I got a place to stay and I need tickets, but we can make that work.
Raquel, work your mojo. Now that is a dare if I ever heard one.
I like that idea. So we have about what, 5 days to get it together and
Yeah,
figured
you're a
out?
miracle. Use that influence. But anyways,
Yes. Okay. Okay.
you know, we did have an event this past Saturday over with
Mhm.
Camp Kids or Kids, and it was just such a great time. And I know, Sia, you were kind enough to partner with Dina and Popcorn and bring some popcorn our way. So why don't you talk about the influence you use to help make an event like this go on? And you see my little dude, Lucas, like that's my guy, by the way.
So
He was
cute.
helping with the popcorn.
Yeah, no.
Um,
So, okay, we're talking about influence and networking, right? So, I actually wrote a post on LinkedIn about, just some insights that I had after I've recovered because it took me like 6 days to recover from Raquel and Liqueur. Raquel dancing to all the Cure songs. And by the way, they played some deep tracks. I thought it was awesome. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, you're dancing to the deep tracks. Anyway, um, but your network really is your net worth when it comes to authentic connections. And so I've recently gotten in contact with Dean and Popcorn through Hank's Friends, actually, another nonprofit here in Dallas that's supporting the autism community. And, Danielle, shout out to her. That girl, Philly, Philly all the way through. She means business. It's like there's time for play and there's time for business. And then when she had and I had chatted about how we can grow our respective businesses, what is it that she needed, I immediately thought of Chris and Hail Hail Auctions because it makes sense. DNAN is a 45-year company, you guys, that has built its foundations on supporting education and nonprofits. And so I'm really enthusiastic to introduce her to your network, Chris, because you know a whole ton of people, and vice versa. She's got a whole network of people that would benefit from the services that an engaging event like Hail Hail Auctions can provide, and the hype that we can build on social media. That's kind of the beginnings of a great partnership, a true collaborative partnership, not what are you going to get from me, what am I going to
Hmm.
get from you kind of situation that unfortunately business quote partnerships often are subject to.
Yeah, no, you're right. And in the partnerships or sponsorships, as you see here, they're so integral in ensuring that great events can be even uplifted or that they can become a possibility before they become an actuality, right? And it was so great to see, a great friend of mine, Gene Hara and Banner, Plumbing Supply, Kitchen and Bath, who've supported me personally in a lot of my functions and charitable interests for many years, be the presenting sponsor of the Gold for Gold, and of course us at Hail Hail Auctions and High Five, and the list went on and on. And so great businesses supporting great charities is something that we're passionate about, not only through our own initiatives, but bridging those relationships. And Raquel, you're like the queen, if you will, of influence and connection.
oh,
And so talk about, what it's been like for you to get to know businesses and make connections to other charities like we support throughout the year.
oh my goodness, it's been very rewarding in the aspect of that. We when we come together, we really ideate. We really just talk about so many different ways that we can further that impact. And want to give a quick shout out to Lena's Foundation. Lately, to Chef Lena Trang, she's just Trang Lee. Sorry, I call her Lena. Sorry, but Chef Trang Lee. So she's an amazing individual here in Houston, and she gives back to the community for disasters. And the way she does it is through food. And as you know, who doesn't love food? I'm a big foodie. I know CA is too. So just being able to meet someone of like her with a huge heart, this huge expertise and influence that she has already, because she won Chop Champion, by the way, the truffle version of it, and she's amazing. But not only that, getting to meet her in person and actually sit down with her and have a heart to heart conversation, it was just amazing because then at that point you really make that connection with that individual, and from there it grows in impact to the point where I am the first official Lena's Foundation ambassador that they have, and Sia is part of
Advice word.
the advisory board. So it's coming together with purpose and intent. So and creating more differences in events, right? Events for fundraising, events for giving back to the community, and just being able to do all those things is such a powerful and empowering thing at the same time. So it's just
Yeah,
been amazing.
gosh, you led me down so many directions. As you guys know, I'm pretty much off the cuff and I don't plan our shows or have like a script. I have a thing in my head and I just go forward, no different than I am as an auctioneer on stage, right? But first off, I want to just say kudos to the both of you because not only are you investing your business time in charitable work and non-for-profits, but as a member of the advisory board and as an ambassador, you're investing your personal time in mission-driven organizations, not only to help uplift, Chef Trang's organization, but also educate yourself about what it's like behind the scenes of a nonprofit. So we're not going to talk about it because there's so many other things I want to
Yes.
get to, but I want to just commend the both of you first and foremost on that. But one thing, we talked about is meeting champions, right?
Yes.
Not only do we champion for organizations, but we have also gotten to meet such great people through charitable work, because whether you're a celebrity, you're a champion of sorts, you're a normal person on the streets, whatever you consider yourself, like, people have charitable interests because by nature we're all good people. And you got to meet, the chopped chef, what did you call it? A truffle champ, right?
Yeah, the truffle champion.
Hey,
Yes.
that 10
Yes,
times fast.
I
And I'm an
know.
auctioneer, right? Save
dude.
it. But anyways,
I'm hungry.
another great organization, somebody I've admired, not only am I a Bears fan, I'm a Hawks fan. And, they've won 3 Stanley Cups, 2010, 2013, 2015. And Brent Sopel, one of the defensemen in the 2010 team,
Mm.
has his own charity here in Chicago, the Sopel Foundation, and they focus on dyslexia and creating awareness for that, disadvantage, or whatever I don't know what to call it. So forgive me, but, I know he's doing great work, and it's been an honor of mine to have great conversation, not only about charity fundraising, but also the Walking Tall movement, Raquel, and, creating conversation about his passion for mental health, right?
Yes.
Because dyslexia is not only something that one would consider to be an issue with reading, but it also provides mental health issues and hurdles unimaginable. He mentioned to me just in conversation on the phone the other day, 89% of suicide notes are written by somebody with dyslexia.
Mm.
That's an
Oof.
astronomical
Mm.
statistic,
Mm.
right? And with his platform, carrying the Stanley Cup overhead as he has, creating awareness is unbelievable. He has an opportunity to do it, and he's taking the time to do so. So shout out to Brent. But in Syya, you've gotten to meet some great people, not to mention Rick Springfield, but like, what has it been like for you so far? What have been some people that have really impacted you?
Wow. Okay. So a lot of people. So
Many.
and I'm horrible with names. If I don't drop names, I'm so sorry. But I do want to give a shout out to the nameless names, the people that are receiving a lot of this. I think there is, when you are going through something, whatever the cause may be, there's an internal struggle and external struggle, right? Whether society accepts your challenges that you're overcoming, and or the like family dynamics. So, um, and I'm trying to be like generic enough, but what I'm seeing a theme over and over again
That's the corporate
is,
salesperson in her. We got to break that a little more, Raquel.
oh, stop it, you. Okay, you know why? Because Gabriel is distracting the crap out of me with his comments. I hear you and I
Yes.
see you, young man, and I'm hungry too. And
I'm
everyone that
looking
keeps
at it.
asking me for food, everyone that keeps asking for the food, talk to Brad Bethune. If anyone wants to know, it goes back to my profile picture on LinkedIn. You see me doing this at Fan Expo. Yeah, ask Brad about Fan Expo and the food damn court. Okay, next thing. To answer your question, the reason why I'm trying to be a little bit more generic and general about it is this: we are all going to face challenges in our life. If we can find our tribe, if we can find our community that knows that we're going through the same types of challenges, it's such a great validation for you to know that you're not alone. So that stat you just gave, Chris, like,
Mm.
it breaks my heart to know that. Like, that's a stat that shouldn't even be a stat. You know what I mean? And for those that are not English speakers, statistic. That should not be a statistic that actually has numbers behind it. That's sad to me.
Mm.
And so everything that we're doing on the appeal, everything that Brilliant Beam Media does, and Raquel can absolutely vouch for it. The team at Brilliant Beam are very heart centric and authentic centric led. We will be there for all organizations as much as we possibly can in any way that we can support to ensure that statistics like that 98% you said, or I can't, my number, I
Thank
don't
you.
like that number. It should be 0%, right? So yes, anyone specific, Chris, it's the families that go through all this to know that you do have a community. That's what we're here about, to help you understand it. Everyone that doesn't know this, whatever you're going through, reach out. The Walking Tall movement is strength in numbers. right? And to help you overcome so you too can walk tall, either on your own or uplift others, or with people lifting you up, right? It's always that cycle of life. So everyone that just does a good job of helping others, to me, you're my heroes. And so again, like Brilliant Bee Media, like I say, we all have our own lights. If we combine our lights together like a Care Bear power stair, you end up with a much more brilliant beam together. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh,
ranting today.
it's
You
almost like
are.
she does that for a living, you know?
Exactly. That soapbox is growing by the minute over there. But you're not wrong, Sia, and it's true. We're using our influence and we have already, but we have some great events coming up, some great organizations we're supporting. The Art Impact Project. Shout out to Liz Fales. I'm actually meeting with her this afternoon. We're going to be holding space September 26th. And the list goes on, working with Journeys, the road home in November. Just great organizations that we're all creating awareness for. And, just like Dave Bradley saying here, opportunities in your local community, no corp, whatever the case may be, are always there. It just takes awareness to be created, a little bit creativity to be instilled, and a little bit of influence amongst folks who can really move the needle like the two of you. So, as we get to wrapping up, first thing I do want to say is, thanks to Janice Shoker, and too, somebody the three of us love very much, and she supported us in many ways and is a huge sponsor of the appeal and Hail Hail auction. So, Syya, before we sign off, let's get to that ad, and then we'll come back and do our goodbyes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's go.
Falling asleep with your head in the wrong position is a pain in the neck. You deserve Tausi Comfort for head, neck, and back support. Go to tausibrands.com and get your comfort on.
And listen, I'm gonna just
Speaking of
say
which,
yep, you got yours.
I have a Chelsea. I'm using a Chelsea on my back. See? So
Well,
there we
see,
go.
I had one, but my beautiful stepmom, Christine, shout out to her, she stole it, so I don't have one. But I can say firsthand that we've been giving these away at many of the events we've been supporting, and most recently at Camp Kids Are Kids. Somebody in the nursing industry won it, and they were already aware of the brand, right? Which was just mind-boggling and mind-blowing. And I'm like, yes, here's Janice. Reach out to her. How can you help? Like, she wants to help more. So these partnerships are integral, and helping other organizations, private and public, grow. And Raquel, before we get going, your influence has just been critical to what we're doing, and thank you for joining us. So please, before we sign off, what are some of your parting words?
My goodness, it's so many people throw out the word influence. At the end of the day, I consider it impact. If that impact is not, if your influence is not converting to a greater impact, then what are we doing? We must look back and step back a couple of steps and say, okay, let's regroup and carry it out in a better way. But for me, it's always lead with kindness and never forget who you are, where you come from, and where you're going. Without purpose and intent in life, we really have no direction. So definitely surround yourself with a tribe that is going to allow you to thrive. So
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. And see, I can't keep praising you enough. And just thank you for all you're done, doing, continue to do, have impacted, and still, whatever the case may be. This has been super fun and important, I think, for folks who are interested in what it is we're doing and building, to really get more of an inside look and why we're doing it. So before we say goodbye, what are your thoughts?
If I could and reiterate, guys, it doesn't take much to support others, whether it's a gift of time, right? When I say time, that could be volunteering, or it could be giving the time of literally hitting the like. So everyone that's watching, can you hit the applause, like and subscribe on YouTube? Like, when you see Hail Hail auctions with our posts on LinkedIn, sure, it is a call for an appeal to help raise funds. Yes, we're asking for money for at times, but the thing is, if you can't give money, just hit that like button on LinkedIn. It helps the algorithm. It helps on YouTube for us. It helps on Instagram. That is all we ask, right? A lot of these is just visibility. Visibility establishing credibility and building that community. So while you're doing this, you're actually sharing with your own community that it's okay. So again, please, it's an appeal, guys. Big appeal from the Syya. Please, 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 just hit that like and subscribe button. Again, every time you see a post, just fracking hit the thumbs up or ha ha ha. I don't care, but anything is better than nothing. And
Yeah.
that's my ask.
And that's one of the things you've taught me the most here, right? I'm not a techie. I was never on social media before Walking Tall or Now Hail Hail, and like just the power of engagement, liking, clicking, subscribing, even leaving a comment as simple as a thumbs up really makes a difference long term.
Mhm.
So please, if you will, like, subscribe, all of our stuff, Brilliant Beam Media, Hail Hail Auctions. It'll be in comments later on. But what I want to just say before we sign off, you two may not know, and I referenced my stepmom, Christine, a little bit earlier, but I want to mention my mom, Kathy. She's been battling breast cancer
Mm.
as of late. And we got some more bad news, and we have another surgery up ahead for her. But, as luck would have it, and working in great organizations, I've become great friends with somebody named Branwyn Lee, who supports breast cancer due to her own fight, and I've made you both aware of. And as luck would have it, I'm going to be calling bingo for the Bees Booby Bash on September
Oh.
25th. Where we're going to raise some money and create awareness for the breast cancer research funds that Branwyn believes so wholeheartedly in. And just as you said, Sia, you never know how you're going to need the support of
Mhm.
organizations that you support. And it's a testament to what we're doing, and I've known Branwyn for long before my mother was diagnosed. Never did I imagine or consider that I would need her not only as a personal friend, but as a confidant for my mother and for myself. And so the work we're doing together is really impactful, not only for who we're working with and partnering with, but also ourselves. And,
Yes.
I just want to wish
Yeah.
my mom the best of luck, and, let her know I love her. And,
Yes.
we're here for her. So we're going to raise a bunch of money for breast cancer through Bees Booby Bash. If you're in Chicago, come to Real Time Sports and also September 25th at 7 o'clock. I'm going to wear as much as possible.
Mhm.
I want to call some bingo. So let's have some fun. And with that note, I want to sign off and just say I love the two of you. Sia, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we are entering into Hispanic Heritage Month, and I want to give a shout out at the same time. Ari Medrano is actually working with American Cancer Society up here in Dallas. So I think there's another collaboration opportunity there. Cancer, F breast cancer. I lost my sister to breast cancer. So I'm wishing all the love and strength for your mom and anything that she needs. But yeah, guys, this is a perfect example of why the appeal
Yes.
exists, is because there's so many great opportunities here to love those that are not in the best place and need to get
Mhm.
well wishes. That's all we can
Mhm.
ask for. So sending all the love to your mom, Chris.
Yeah, walk
We
it all,
do.
guys. All right. Thanks. Let's
All
get to that
right.
outro. Bye,
All
guys.
right.